Okay, hey!
Sorry about the technical difficulties, folks.
What up? We were trying to do a post. There it is. Hey, there it is. We're live. Hey, live. Hey, hello. We got the lag again. Great.
Yeah. Well,
I love the lag.
Of course we do.
Just scroll down so I don't see the lag. Scroll down so we can see the comments, and then we won't see the lag. There we go.
There we go.
Keep going. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. No, the other way.
Down.
That's up.
There
Down.
Down.
Down. AV guy.
There we go.
Hey, there we go. I don't want to see the lag. That's ridiculous.
So, folks, how you doing?
Oh, we didn't click the lag button, did we?
No, we did not.
We did not. So, sorry. You get a lag because I'm not typing them. I'm not typing them again.
3,
Cheers.
2, 1.
Oh, that's good.
So crispy.
I like it. The nice thing is we're doing this live, but when he's recording this,
Yes.
the lag won't be there
Yep.
on the final product, which is great. So, Harmon, you're a hell of an AV guy. We love you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Love is a strong word.
Apparently spilled my beer on your bar. Happens. It's my first beer.
Isn't that what bars are for?
Well, it's my first ever beer pour. I've never poured a beer before. So welcome everybody to another exciting episode of the Double BS podcast.
Our first live in a while.
We haven't done So here's the cool thing.
I fixed it.
You the man. So we're gonna be live right now. So we're looking for the interaction. But
Please tune in, comment, question.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when you watch this later on Facebook and YouTube, it will not be live. So
No.
you're going to, if you hop on here now, you get to experience the live, and then you just get to watch it afterwards. So Tonight we have a very fun topic that we're going to get to in just a minute. But before we do, as always, we need to talk about kind of the business end of things, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you to our wonderful sponsors. Of course, the Kenworthys. Well, it's Kyle and Sam, really. It's not the Kenworthys
Not yet. Not until October.
Not until October. But the nice thing is we've got... it was really Kyle, but Sam just kind of gets pulled into that too.
Yeah, she
gets babied in.
Yeah.
So thank you. Of course, we couldn't do that without the camera, the mic. Thank you to Gimme Bandits Company. I say it wrong every time.
Easy Custom Graphics.
Thank you. They do. He has done our stickers. We have T-shirts. We have signage, which is great.
Yep.
Who else we got? We've got
Cat's Eye Distillery.
And they're not really a sponsor,
but they show us love, so we'll show them.
Yeah, we've done a lot of stuff with them, so we like to kind of just support them.
Yeah. If you are a whiskey lover or just a general spirits lover, they have a very, very good line of all different types of spirits. Yeah, check them out.
Yes.
Right there in Bettendorf. Look for them in your finer liquor stores and liquor providers.
Yes.
Very, very good. My personal favorite is the Krupnik. And just had their Iowa vodka. Wow.
I'm still the Nassif rum.
Yeah.
That's still top of the line for me. Yeah. So we've done a lot of cool things with them, so thank you to them. And I think that's all. And of course, the Immortal Knights. Public Safety Motorcycle. They're not really a sponsor, but we're involved with them, and we talk a lot about them. So make sure to come down June 18th. Tribute ride out of Clinton Harley-Davidson. We support the heck out of that because we're in the club.
Yeah,
so
we're members.
We kind of required to.
Yeah. We're not just supporters. We're members.
That's right. We're not just customers. We also have a little off camera. You won't see him. Is our newest hang around in the club, Corey here. So
Pony Boy Crane
he's
Eater
here to hang along. And of course, as always, behind the scenes, behind the camera, making all the magic happen is the AV guy. He missed his cue. It happens. Whatever. So
he was too busy in his techie stuff.
He was doing his thing. So
fuck that was funny. That'll be great in the video.
Excellent. So tonight we're gonna have a little bit of fun.
As though we never do during our
We always do, but it's kind of like an interactive. We're hoping for some interaction. If not, it is what it is. I've got my phone. I had a post up, so I'm gonna read some of those. But tonight we're going to talk about a little bit different. We're usually talking about breweries and bro stuff and all that. But tonight we're going to kind of combo meal it, if you will. We're going to talk about things that are overrated. More specifically, we're going to talk about overrated bands. I think that is a topic that comes up a lot. And we're going to get into it a little bit. But of course, because we're a beer podcast, we wanted to kind of combo that into overrated beers. So throughout this episode, we have 3 beers that we're going to be drinking.
Now, don't get butthurt, anybody out there.
Yes.
Overrated does not mean they're bad.
Yeah.
It means that there's an awful lot of hype for something that's really just kind of...
Yeah. We're going to be talking like hype and why. Like, why is it this and because it's this. So, so we're going to enjoy some beers. We're going to talk about some overrated bands. And with that being said, here we go. So... I mean, do we start out? I think we started with a beer.
Oh, yeah, we have to.
So, and this is even, I mean, really, this isn't the most of the 3 we're doing. I don't think this is the most overrated. I think this will probably be number 2. I think the third one we're doing would be the least, just because it's not from our area.
Yeah, the third one is more of a regional, hyped up one.
But so, I think some of these are too. It just they happen to be in our region.
Yeah.
So the first one we're doing, which I would say is number 2 on the list, is Yuengling. Of course, Yuengling is the oldest brewery in America, from Pottsville, Pennsylvania. I believe they don't. Yep, 1829. So this is the oldest brewery.
Is this beer still fresh? I mean,
I don't know, but they've been around. But a good beer.
You missed that lob.
Okay. I did, but I'm just moving forward from it. I'm gonna drink it still.
I don't know that I've ever actually had the Yuengling traditional lager. So it's an original amber beer.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the beer. Again, I think it's one of those. Like, it's good beer. I don't want to say it's not good. It's good beer.
So okay, first impression, because I have not had this one until now. I do like ambers.
Remember, this was amber before ambers were ambers.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it does seem very run-of-the-mill, middle-of-the-road amber.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, if this is still like their original recipe that other North American brewers like based off of and tweaked and made better or whatever, I mean, cool, good for them. It's a good amber, but yeah, it's
again overrated. I think, and I think the reason
I don't
people
see what the hype is.
I think the reason is, of course, if you don't know, you can't. I mean, they're starting to spread a little bit, but I mean, typically you can't get this unless you're like on the East Coast. I'm on the East Coast. It's a thing.
But Pennsylvania's not in the East Coast.
East Coast area.
Oh, okay.
Smart guy.
Just saying.
East of here.
You find an ocean that butts up to Pennsylvania, and I'll be amazed.
You can get it, I believe you can get it in Indiana now. So that's the closest right now that you can get it here.
Really?
Is to go to Indiana. So
that actually, I mean, that may be part of the reason for the hype, is that only when somebody goes there can they actually get it.
Very similar to another beer we're going to talk about tonight. I think it's very similar. It's a good beer. It's just a nice good beer. And they do some other beers that you've had that are, I think, better than this, that are good.
Yeah, the one I haven't tried that I really, really want to try, if anybody out there has it and would like to donate it to me to try, I really want to try their Hershey Chocolate Porter.
Yes.
I really do.
Of course, Pennsylvania, home of Hershey's chocolate as well.
Right.
So,
I mean, Hershey, Pennsylvania, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. So, let's get into it. Overrated bands. Again, it's not that they're...
It doesn't mean they're bad.
It's more of like an opinion thing, really.
So
I'm gonna let you kind of lead in. I'm gonna pull up my post.
So one that I wanted to talk about right away. It was weird because it stuck out right away. I believe it was last year they were at Mississippi Valley Fair, and I heard a lot of people say I was really let down with how they were live, things like that. I've listened to them for a long time, and I've always thought they were great. I never realized they were hyped up until here recently. But Shinedown, I think Shinedown is a good overall new rock band. Mm-hmm. But when people say that they're overrated or they're overhyped, sadly, I have to counter with they have more number one songs than any other hard rock band in history.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say they're overrated when they've won that many awards. I want to say it's like 17 number one singles they've had.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down this list.
Okay.
This is I posted this on my Facebook page about a week ago in lead up to this episode. So I'm going to read off. I'm going to name the person who said that's what it was and who they think, and we'll kind of get through it, and then we'll kind of go back and hit some of them, because I think some of them we're going to hit. So
can you comment live while we're going?
Yeah.
Okay. As you say their name,
oh God,
call them out in the comments. Let's send them an alert.
Okay, it's a lot.
Well, go slow enough.
The first one is going to be just go in the comment, write a comment. You ready? So be Randy Patton, Randy Patton. I don't see it if you're doing it. If you're doing it, I'm assuming you're doing it.
Well, yeah, he's not going to see it. You're not going to see it typing. You'll see it pop up.
And then it'll be a Florida, Georgia line.
Very hyped up.
And dramatic pause.
I was just going to say
I was like, I'm just waiting. Did you put it up there?
Or are you still typing?
Georgia line.
Florida,
Georgia line, yeah.
Don't tell me you've never heard of them.
He's young. He don't know any better.
Weren't they like...
There you go.
Okay.
Weren't they
hold on,
like
the next one.
American
The next
Idol or something?
The next one is IQ over here, so well, don't have to type this one. I'm just going to say this one. IQ is CCR. We're going to come back to that. The next one is Brian Boyer. I would have to agree on Shinedown. I seen them 3 years ago. The Five Finger I put on a very good show. So, okay, so here's the next one. Hang with us. The next one is Adam Packer. ADAMPACKER. And then it's FFDP.
Five Finger Death Punch. I was actually listening to them for the first 75% of our
So
ride
post
today.
that one.
Adam.
Packer. PACKER. We gotta go faster. Five Finger Death Punch. FFDP. Just FFDP. Enter.
There you go.
Okay, it didn't show up.
Yeah, right there.
There it is. Oh, it's commenting as you. You're commenting as
What do
that.
you want me to do?
That's fair enough. So next one will be Wes Jordan. Okay, let's skip that. That's gonna take forever. Our whole episode will be us doing this. So, there it is. So, thank you. Who's gonna get there? Here, I'll just hand that to you. Here, they're right there. They're right there. So, and I'm gonna go with mine. IQ here is gonna post some up. And I have a few, and the ones that I have, they really piss people off. I'm like, I'm not saying that the band is bad.
Right.
I'm not saying what they did for the music industry is bad. It's not. I think they're overrated. So I'm gonna get right into it. The first one I have is the Beatles. Like, I get it. Everybody's like, oh, the Beatles are the greatest rock band. You know what? The Beatles started out as the first boy band.
Yeah, they were
And what they did for the pop music genre, some of the stuff they did kind of in the middle there, touched on rock and kind of laid some groundwork for some of the rock stuff we see now. But really it was pop music, pop rock, and the first boy band. And they did a great job with it. The stuff they did was great. But as a rock band, overrated. That's not rock and roll. I'm sorry. I can go to their time frame, and there's so many better bands that are doing rock and roll. Like when they were doing their thing, they were doing teeny bopper stuff. I'm sorry. Teeny boppers aren't doing rock and roll.
Right.
It's not happening. The other one I have, which pisses a lot of people off, is Elvis. I'm sorry, Elvis was great. He did a solo act, but again, his music.
Elvis was a music thief.
Thank you.
Period.
I was letting you hit that.
Absolutely. Period. He was a music thief. The vast majority of his music was actually stolen from, at the time, African American soul writers.
So, if you don't know this, in the movie Forrest Gump, they touched on that. Because he was where they had him staying at Forrest Gump's mom's house, and him doing the Forrest Gump doing his dance because of his leg braces. That was kind of a touch on that, where they're saying, hey, and then you saw him on TV. It wasn't his thing. It was somebody else's thing that he just adapted and made a thing. But he was popular, so it worked. And the third one that I have is Nirvana. I love what Nirvana did for the grunge music scene, because ultimately that's where alternative music came from, and that's phenomenal. But they really weren't that good. They really weren't. Like, you listen to music, it's like, okay. I mean, I knew they had a song in the new Batman movie, which is great, but
Okay, so we do.
Oh gosh, we gotta hold on. We gotta scroll up a little bit. Harmon, can you scroll up a little bit here on the comments? Just on the comments. We've got some interaction. I can't. No, not there. What are you doing? Oh,
there's so
see what I'm
many
saying?
of these. Oh my God, how are we gonna get all these in here?
So a couple of the ones that I've seen are Pink Floyd.
Sorry.
Yep.
Good morning. And it is a good morning too, isn't it? It's just good.
Are you on my page?
Sun is
Are
shining.
they coming off yours?
I don't know.
That better?
One of those, Mother.
There it is. It's gone.
That's better?
Yeah. So Metallica. I don't know about Metallica. I mean, maybe.
So okay. My thing about Metallica is, yes, I can see where they're overrated now, but when they first came out, they had a very dedicated fan base, and if you look at Metallica's early albums compared to now, they have very much so adapted with the times.
So
they understood that their original hard, fast, speed metal sound wasn't going to be as commercially marketable.
Yeah,
as
so
it is. Yeah,
I think
so-
you had the Black Album, and then I think after the Black Album, really your next big one was Fuel, and that was they tried to go mainstream. It's like that was kind of the same time a lot of artists were doing that. Like Aerosmith was doing that. It's like, okay,
I'm not
just
talking about the Black Album. I'm talking about going back to metal.
Well, I know, I'm
Your
just saying,
Ass,
I'm just
Master of
talking-
Puppets. Yeah.
yeah. So I can see where that would be a little bit. I wanted to see Texas Hippie and Hell Yeah. I don't know who those are. Rolling Stones. What about Rolling Stones? I mean, that's.
I don't know if you can call them overrated. I mean, for crying out loud, Keith Richards' blood type is formaldehyde.
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that he's been playing his music as long as he have, you got to at least give him props for that.
I think
I think Rolling Stones is actually one of the most sampled rock groups of all time.
Yeah, so I
modern
don't.
artists.
Yeah. What do you got here? Todd Striley, Kiss. I think Kiss. I don't know if I'd say they're overrated. I think they kind of found a niche with the makeup and all that.
Yeah, people
I think
bought
that,
into the
yeah,
gimmick.
that I think
They
that
bought
was
into
they're
the
more
gimmick right away.
They would be more gimmick than overrated. So some dancing. U2. I've heard this from a few people. U2. That's a tough. I love me some U2.
To me,
they're
of who we've spoken about so far, I would call U2 the most groundbreaking of the ones that we've spoken about.
Yeah.
But once U2 went all friggin' neo-political, blah, bitty blah, save the world, yada yada. No, dude, you're a musician. Play music, write music, stick with that.
Yes, and
really,
I think
once you got past, was it Streets? Or the Streets with No Names?
Yeah.
Once you got past that, that's when they really got kind of weird.
Yeah, and I remember, I mean, hearing stories about, Bono would be like, okay, hey, we're doing a show, and I left my hat back at my place in London. I'm gonna flat out like that. At that point, like, okay, dude, you're not about the music. You've made the money.
Yeah.
Like, I have to have this hat to make this music. No, you don't.
No, Bono.
It'd be like if you and me sat here and said we have to have, an AV guy. We have to have a camera. We have to have the microphone.
Just called you useless.
Like, it's great that we have it. It's nice,
Yeah.
but this podcast started on a friggin' phone.
Cell phone. We actually we were tempted on going back to just using a cell phone tonight.
We're not doing it. But I think, and again, overrated and kind of overhyped. I mean, it's very
now,
tough.
U2 as a band, I don't think would be considered overrated if Bono wasn't as overrated as a singer-songwriter.
Yeah, it doesn't say. It is what it is.
And The Edge wasn't so overrated as this like master guitarist. No. Edge is a run-of-the-mill rock guitarist. He is not a groundbreaking musician by any means. What are you doing?
Nice.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's about to fall.
Sorry, Cat's Eye.
So
You're mostly here. Your logo's right here.
U2 wouldn't, I don't think, would be considered overrated if it wasn't for Bono and Edge both being personally overrated.
Oh yeah, and I think
you
really
you want to talk groundbreaking and like cutting edge guitarist. Edge is nowhere even near like the top 20.
I tell you, too, I'm really gonna drop a bomb here in a second, but I want to be able to move on to our next beer. Well, you got the beer fridge over there. So.
Yeah, I know. We still have some though. So, what? Go ahead and drop your bomb. What?
New country music. I'm sorry. I grew up around
Hank Williams.
country music. I'm even going to go to
Which one was next?
Spotted.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that's right. The other two are actually upstairs.
like, you've got, even to go to like Garth Brooks, and even a little bit farther than that, Toby Keith even would be. But like, you look at country music now, and
Toby Keith changed.
He did.
Look at Toby Keith in the 80s and 90s versus Toby Keith now.
Toby Keith, How Do You Like Me Now? I love that song. I love it. Great message. But here's the thing. You look at these country singers today where they're doing the old joke, right? Well, what happens when you play a country song backwards? You get your
wife, your truck,
back, your dog back.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you get country
David
artists
Allenco.
talking about, oh yeah, I'm a tractor and this, that, whatever. You're writing this song on your private jet. So shut up.
Okay, so some of the newer country artists, and forgive me, I'm not a country listener. Like, if a certain song comes on, I know it, I'll sing it, whatever. But I'm not a country fan. But there are new artists that have come onto the scene that they flat out understand, no, I want to have fun with this. I want to write a fun, good time country song. And because they've openly said that and they've accepted that's what they're going to do, they've reaped the benefits of it.
So
They're not trying to say, I'm a redneck farmer.
No. So I would call that pop country.
Yeah. Oh,
like that's a totally new genre. But they're still trying to sell albums under the country genre. I want to be at the CMT Awards. No, that's not. You're not. That you would need to go to MTV Music Awards because that's your pop music.
Okay, fine. Then Rock Music Awards. Look at where rock and roll started.
There isn't.
In other words, current rock and roll you can't say is rock and roll. It's a music style. It's a genre. It's going to change and it's going to evolve.
Yeah. Who would you say is current rock and roll?
Current rock and roll?
Current rock and roll.
That's where you're talking like Hailstorm. You're talking Pretty Reckless. You're talking Slipknot with their new album. Korn with their new album.
So would you call that rock or would you call that... See, like for me, Korn and like Slipknot, they'd be like more heavy metal. But I guess that would still kind of fall into the...
so this is where my little bit of age difference over you shows. To me, heavy metal is still Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Megadeth. That is still what I consider heavy metal. It's very hard, very chord driven, very beat driven. So new rock
would very much be
evolved
Slipknot.
from that. Yeah. New rock has evolved from that. But then look at Corey Taylor's side project.
Yeah, his side project
not heavy metal.
No, that's very much yeah.
That shows that there's a difference there.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with that. I mean, music has come so far. And really what it used to be, I think it used to be you'd
By
see
the
this...
Andy, yes, I completely agree with you on Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning.
Let's get some more comments in here.
do you need to scroll down? Are there more comments coming in?
No, we're currently at where we're at. That's okay. So,
ouch.
The next beer, and I think this one would probably ruffle the most feathers for our local viewers, is Spotted Cow. New Glarus Brewery. Lovely brewery.
Oh, definitely.
Love going up there. Got a great brewery up there.
That's my dog, Luna.
Luna. And great beers up there. But again, it's not like, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal.
If anybody hears that I'm going to Wisconsin, they're like, bring back some Spotted Cow.
But there again, I think you can only, and it says only in Wisconsin. In fact, yeah, only in Wisconsin, right there in the can. Only in Wisconsin. You can only get it in Wisconsin. Nowhere else. So I think that plays. Yawn. Weird. I think that plays into it. Similar to Yingling, where it's a regional. You can't get it all the time, so it gets that like, oh, this is amazing.
This is so good.
And really, if
it's gourmet Busch Light, I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna go with
it's
that.
like craft Busch Light. I mean, yeah. Anytime I go to Wisconsin, I'm gonna grab some. I'm not gonna lie.
You said that, now it ruined it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna grab some, but it's just
It's not. Yeah, it's not what. Again, it's overrated. It's not what it's hyped up to be. It's like it's good beer.
It's not Busch Light. It's Busch Light, yeah.
Like, here's my thing. Like, if let's say it's available down here, I'm going to the store on Friday. Like,
you see it available down here, you're gonna see the popularity drop off rapidly.
Yeah, like I'm going to Hy-Vee. I'm gonna grab a 12er for tonight. Oh, maybe tonight I'll grab Coors Light. Now maybe I'll grab Spotted Cow. That's the kind of category. Yeah. Just your typical Pilsner. Nothing crazy. Just nice, light drinking beer.
Yeah. Somebody needs a nap.
No kidding. I apologize.
It's not a Pilsner, by the way. It's an ale.
Well, I know. Whatever. You get the point. But I think where everybody's like, oh, we got to have Spotted Cow.
I think
because you can't get it yet.
In Wisconsin, yeah.
And really, and around here, it's weird. Like, for us here, because really, you drive an hour and 20 minutes, you can get it.
Yeah,
you get up there to.
You want to go do a little bit of shopping right over the border. I mean, it's right there. So.
You go to Keeler, Wisconsin, because everybody's like, well, you go to, Dickeyville, and you got Keeler's grocery store.
Yeah.
But before you get to Dickeyville and Keeler's grocery store, there's Keeler, Wisconsin, that you can get it there too.
Yeah.
And that's the first kind of town over the border.
Yeah, and it was funny because we actually stopped in East Dubuque, Wisconsin, and we weren't able to get it there. We actually had to leave there and drive into Keeler to get it.
My wife's texting me.
Is that you? Oh, mine went off too.
Oh, that's a discussion for after this podcast. Uh-oh. That'll be a location for future podcasts. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be great. So, back to the music. We kind of hit on a lot of them. Let me go back here. Let me scroll through here real quick.
So,
without my
Andy,
stupid shit.
Andy Williams talking about Southern rock. That's funny. I actually looked up something the other day where I was looking for the top-rated Southern rock, like current new Southern rock, and every single artist on that list, I would never ever in my life consider Southern rock. That's another shift in the genre where it's changing from what we considered Southern rock back in the day. Your Kentucky Headhunters, Leonard Skinner. It's not that anymore.
All right, so you go down. Here's the Beatles again. Carrie Underwood.
Like I said, I was never a country fan. I know that she was huge, but I couldn't name a single song of hers.
This is the fun one of the discussion. This was by our friend Red Hot Brian Scott. He goes, "Bad Hair." Of course, that's his band, so we're just gonna put it in there. So that's fine. So Metallica, we had Rolling Stones,
I can't
Kiss,
comment
U2.
either way on that. I don't know that I've ever actually seen Bad Hair live.
Here you go, Mumford and Sons.
I consider Mumford and Sons a flash in the pan. I mean,
Reasoning
they were really hot a couple of years ago, and they're gone.
And here's the reasoning: all songs sound exactly the same, and it's annoying. Here's saying
all songs sound the same, that you could generalize, but the "it's annoying" that is completely a personal call.
That is, yes. Here's one that's going to ruffle a few feathers. Cheap Trick. Overrated, or that's more of like a one hit or like a one off? Like
they're not a one hit.
Not a one hit, but like.
But they very much had their own sound.
Like
though.
they just had a thing, and then it was over, and they just kind of kept pushing.
I will give them that they had their own sound, but I still think part of what killed them was how gimmicky their guitarist got.
Okay.
It was like, how big and extravagant can I make a guitar just to try to attract a fan for?
Right. Here's the next one. Journey. And the comment is this. Journey. I stopped believing a long time ago.
I'm never gonna stop believing because he's gonna show up on my front porch and want to kill me.
Here's one that I totally agree with. I'm gonna leave it in your hands. I'm gonna go up and because I have a small bladder, but I'm gonna let you run your take on this. And then the next one is even bigger, but this one I agree with. Dave Matthews Band.
Dave Matthews Band was a college indie band that somehow ended up with a record deal. That's really what it is. You want to talk about a band that has literally just reintroduced themselves over and over and over. That's Dave Matthews Band. They're very generic. They're very, hey, this is kitschy. We're gonna go with this and keep the college girls pulling their shirts up at a concert and we're successful. No. The only song that they had that was actually cutting edge, in my opinion, was Crash Into Me. And that got so overplayed that it just became obnoxious.
Oh, I'm a big fan of Joker.
But now, was that their remake?
That's a good question. Might have been.
I can't remember that one specifically, but I know that they had a remake that everybody went crazy for until they found out that their parents listened to the original and they were like, "Oh, never mind."
That would leave a bad taste in my mouth too.
So yeah, but I think so. Okay, so talking about remakes, going back to Five Finger Death Punch, how a lot of people think they were overrated. I think the reason they became thought of overrated was the entire album of covers that they released.
Like Bad Company.
Yes.
Yeah.
They released an entire album of covers. It's like, dude, are you trying to stay relevant or what?
Yeah, it wasn't.
You're gonna be that guy?
Here we go.
Come on.
Here's the next one that I don't. Here's what it is. AC/DC.
What?
I love AC/DC. I am a fan of AC/DC, but yes, I think they're overrated.
Okay.
I do think they're overrated. You can interchange their beats from song to song to song. That you can do.
I'll give you that.
That's another one that if Bon Scott hadn't have been their original singer, I don't think they would have made it near as big as they did.
Oh, absolutely. Here's the next one. Disturbed and Papa Roach. Mediocre riffs, awful lyrics, and they were only popular because they rode the new metal wave in the 2000s that was created by bands with far more talent.
But Papa Roach has accepted the fact that they needed to adapt and change, and their new album is dramatically different.
Right? Really good.
Dramatically different from what their old stuff was.
And as I scroll through, so this is the last one I have, and it's probably my favorite. It's from Patrick Jones. So Pat Jones, he's does some great stuff around here. That band from Chuck E. Cheese.
I cannot believe you would call them out like that. They
That's
were
awesome.
amazing. That was every child's first live band.
Right? Well,
Creepy as hell.
It might have been
their first live.
It might have
band.
been the first band at Showbiz Pizza, because that was a different band.
Yeah. Oh, that's
The band
right.
at Showbiz Pizza was different
That's
from the
right,
band
'cause,
at.
who did Chucky replace? Was it the Gorilla?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so Showbiz Pizza was the first live band, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then the Rat came in and replaced the Gorilla, and it went corporate, and I mean, now they've got movies, horror movies, about places like that got possessed, and the guy gets trapped in there overnight, yeah.
There was, so I remember years ago, they did, I think it was on Dwyer and Michaels. They were talking about some guy that, like, he collected the different animatronic, like the band members, like the lion.
Yeah, that's not creepy.
Because if you remember back, like, I don't really remember Chuck E. Cheese. That was kind of after my time. But Showbiz Pizza had,
it was Showbiz.
like, multiple stages.
Yeah.
Like, you had the main stage, and then you had the side stage.
Because their curtains opened and closed depending on which stage was being used at that time.
So there was, I know, there was at least the main, and then there was the one over here.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, okay, you watch this one for a while, and then that closed.
Yeah.
And then this opened, they did this, and then that closed. And
then
this is a different show.
Then with Chuck E. Cheese, when the show stopped, they just went...
Yeah, there was no curtain. It was just
sat
like
there like that. Yeah, that's where it got creepy and traumatizing.
Yeah, it's just not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
So it's like, eat your pizza.
Yeah, eat your pizza. Go pump quarters into video game machines.
Yeah.
Bill Hosette, AC/DC. Come on,
we were just
Bill.
talking about them. Yep.
Bill.
If Bon Scott hadn't have been the original lead singer to get them hyped up with like big balls and things like that,
Yeah.
I mean Angus, yes, good guitarist, but it's
Good.
It's the same riff over and over and over. Does he do any other different move than that little shuffle step thing?
No. Here's my thing. So
Are all of his 3-chord power riffs?
I'm trying to make a point here. So where we're saying overrated, I think for a lot of people around here, of course, with the Hawks, AC/DC Back in Black, that's kind of a special song for us.
Oh
from from a football.
Again,
so I think
by
a
saying
lot of people
overrated,
like,
we're not saying
yeah.
bad.
No, like for me saying like overrated. Oh, hey,
like I said,
we get instantly I get instantly defensive.
No.
I'm like, I'm not saying they're not overrated. I'm just like
No.
my initial reaction is like, hey.
Yeah,
that's
I
like
love
that's
listening to
like in
AC/DC,
Metallica too.
yeah.
Like that's our walk up song, and then AC/DC is our run out song.
Enter
So I mean,
Sandman,
it's just
Mariano Rivera, iconic. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'm a huge Metallica
Right
fan.
there,
I'm a huge
I just had it
AC/DC
right there.
fan. Yeah, huge AC/DC fan. I mean, a lot of these bands I love,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're when you really come
Some
down to
like,
what
yeah.
overrated means, yeah, they're overrated.
Yeah, and a lot of people like when you say, overrated. You say the Beatles. You say I was like, oh God,
Yeah.
you can't. I don't know what the yawns are coming from. It is what it is, but
He's a tired boy.
like overrated. Like when you say overrated, it's almost like
People take offense to it.
yeah. I know what the yawns are from. It's the fresh air, wind. Had the wind today. Weird.
Yeah, true.
So, I don't want you to think that like overrated, and the other part of it too is look at different musical genres, and I think again, like people say, oh, I like country music, and like for me, I'm like I don't, and it's not that again they're like oh, why don't you like country music? It doesn't matter. Like I just don't like it. Like I'm a guy like I like EDM. I love EDM. Love some great EDM stuff.
He's very much a boots and pants and boots and
And like
boots and pants and boots and pants.
my point exactly. It's like, well, if you don't like it, your initial response is to kind of poke fun and
Oh no,
well,
dude!
like that.
Dude, I was a club DJ.
Well, I'm just
I
saying
like
you were a
I like
boots and
EDM. No, that's what I'm saying though. That's when you talk about EDM, that's what people think. They're like, oh, it's just a driving beat.
Oh, yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah 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 blah.
Well, now I remember that was back.
But
in
the funny
day.
thing is, you bring up EDM and they bag on it. You're like, what does EDM stand for? And they're like,
and you go deeper into it. It's EDM. It's like, well, then there was before EDM. It was
trance and house
and there's three.
electronica.
Oh shit!
That's
There's four. You forgot the fourth one. Techno.
Oh yeah. Techno, I think, derived from electronica.
Like techno and electronic would probably all
Yeah,
the same.
yeah.
But you have house and you have trance. The big one when I was getting into it was techno and trance. Those were the two you had to differentiate. Techno was
and no, we don't mean Pump Up the Jam by Technotronic. They were
no
not techno.
God.
They were
Techno
horrible
was
hip-hop.
very much the oots 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 oots, and then techno or trance was like the kind of the.
That's gonna haunt my dreams.
You're welcome. I don't know how to demonstrate trance, but trance was very much like there was the beat,
Hard
but there
beat
was
driven.
but there was a very much a melodic line to it. It was very much a
Think
a
Enya.
feel.
Think Enya with a hard driving bass line.
Yeah.
That's trance music.
Super good. But there again, they'd be like, well, that's, overrated, EDM. EDM, and actually, I don't know if you know this. There is, you have the CMT Awards, you have the MTV Music Awards, you have the Grammys. There is an EDM Awards now.
Yep.
There's an actual EDM Awards, and that's awesome. I love it. Some of the artists that are on those are great. I love the music, but I'm telling you right now, I have not seen. I think I went to one EDM concert. I'm telling you right now, my age, I would love to go see that now. Like
not up in the crowd.
Like
though.
what's Daisy Chain out there in Vegas, like all that.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
love. Nope. I couldn't hang with that if I wanted to.
Well,
There's not even
your drug content in your veins is too low.
no shit. And my favorite, I think, really my favorite EDM moment, if you will, to get to this, and then we're gonna get to when we'll finish these, we're gonna get to the next beer. I think my favorite moment of that is at my age. When people say EDM, there's not a lot of people that are like, oh, we like that. You don't get that a lot. It's usually like the younger generations.
Yeah. I'm trying.
But like several years ago, it was like I didn't think I was listening to EDM and some of the new what I thought were new artists or artists that I liked. But I didn't think like, oh, kids nowadays don't listen to this. Well, we were when we lived at our apartment in town here. I'm sitting at we came home one day and I heard from across the street, this rental house, and I heard the oots, 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 oots. And I'm like, oh yeah, I knew someone over there. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna come over. And they were playing stuff I'd never heard of. And it was like, oh.
See, now
and that was great. So that was like a moment for me. It was like, okay, here's a learning. Because we've been around. We've heard music for generations. And it's tough for us now to kind of accept newer music. Because some of the newer stuff is pretty...
So this is where I'll probably catch some crap. Excuse me. So, like I said, I for lack of a better term, I was introduced to club music in a club. Underage, my mom worked there. I hung out with the DJ. I mean, it was cool. I got to meet a bunch of bands, a bunch of celebrities, things like that. But I got to see actual like DJ competitions, like Florida State Championships and stuff like that, to go to the national level to compete. So I got to see in the 90s, the early 90s, like this evolution in club business or club music.
So what your would be, so where a lot of kids nowadays, the EDM is the, like, for probably more I was kind of the tail end, the turntable.
Yes.
The turntable stuff.
So I I learned how to DJ on 3 turntables.
So I'm trying to think here, I don't want to say Paul Oakenfold, not that one. But any DJ blank.
Yeah.
And really they're just hitting...
Which you can't say that now. Because now you can call yourself DJ whatever with a digital scratcher and a keypad.
That's the thing. They're just doing
it
and they hit play.
Yeah.
When you say
I'm talking
DJ...
12-inch vinyl records actually scratching with the needle and everything.
And I'm gonna name drop here in a second, but... Really, when you and I forget the comedian, but he's like, "Oh yeah, DJ this." If the DJ is like doing, and they're like,
"Yeah,"
no, they're not because your DJ is working.
Yeah.
The closest I would say I ever came to that, I did a wedding, and they had hired a DJ out of Des Moines, and he's still doing it, and he's big into it, but his name was DJ Diverse. Dustin Iverson. I got to meet him. I chatted with him. He was actually the DJ we kind of coordinated for my bachelor party. He DJ'd the club at my bachelor party. But he had the newer style, the turntables, but the laptop. But he was still very much involved in the mixing, scratching thing. But like the way he did it was almost like that was the next evolution that was dying out already because it wasn't actual LPs. It was... He had like 2 LPs on the turntables, but everything was computer. But he had everything. He knew everything by the beats per minute, different songs.
You've got to match your BPM up. You've got to transfer from song to song. Your fades have to be on point.
So good.
Yeah. So it's funny because going back to, and this'll very much so limit our audience, Club Cancun in Clinton.
Oh, God.
I was still referred to as DJ Focus. And I actually had, at that point, we didn't have turntables, but I had a dual CD deck with digital scratchers on them.
Yep.
So I had auto control, and it added in the scratch sound, whatever. But it was what I had available to me at the time. I still remember going old school one night, bringing Salt and Peppa in, bringing in Sir Mix-a-Lot, bringing in MC Hammer, things like that. And I remember getting a call from... Oh, and I'm going to blank on his name now. You knew him too. Shoot. He was with B100.
Red Hot.
Nope. Younger guy. Short guy. God, I can't remember.
Cody
his
Tucker
name
would have
now.
been way after.
I can't
Tony
remember. his
Tone?
name. No. Anyway.
Well,
I
that would have
remember
been... B100 would have been...
whatever it was.
You're thinking like 98.9.
That might be, yeah.
That
So
was before my...
so he calls me one night, and we're sitting there chatting, and I was actually at the club working, and I set the phone down to talk, or to do my mix and everything for a couple minutes. I told him to just hang on a second, and I actually did a mix that I'd been working on with Salt and Peppa Push It, mixing into Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot. But I looped back and forth, I scratched it in, I matched the beats, all of that. Mm-hmm. I pick the phone back up, and he goes, "You're that guy." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh, I remember the story.
He
Yeah,
goes,
yeah.
"You're the one that has all of these teen girls calling me asking for that new song called Baby Got Back." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" He goes, "I've got all of these dingy broads from Clinton calling me saying, 'Oh, there's this brand new song. Can you play it for me?'" He's like, "That song was released in like the late 80s, early 90s.
I love that story. Okay, so I'm going to go...
You got
They're upstairs.
Yep, in the main.
Okay,
page, yep.
So we got one more beer.
And this beer, I don't even know how many people in this area will actually know of it.
Yeah,
This is very much a regional favorite. For those that don't know, I'm currently working out of Southern Illinois, and this is actually a Pabst beer, but it's a specific beer that is only served in the South. And a lot of people down there, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's great. I drink it all the time, blah blah blah." And I've also had people tell me that I drink it because it's cheap. So I figured, well, let's get some and check it out, because that's what they talk about down there. And just so you know, I got 4 16-ounce tall boys for $3.27.
There they are.
And that is Stag beer. So yeah.
Here we go.
We cheated, and we actually tried it last night.
Because we've never had it.
Yeah, I'd never had it.
This is kind of where the beer side of the podcast came from. Or tonight's episode.
Yep.
Overrated, because this was big down there, and you were telling me every down there, "Oh yeah, you gotta have Stag, So we tried it last night. The one we had before this was phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Whoop. Really? Come on. There we go.
There, I was gonna say, what are you doing? So we're gonna finish out this episode with this. Oh God, I love this microphone. It's crispy. So this is kind of like.
So we drank this out of the can last night. This is actually
first time out of
significantly lighter.
Out of it, yeah. We drank this out of the can. We have not drank this out of a glass yet.
That is
holy
ultra light.
Holy moly! I mean, I'm not really surprised, because I remember the taste from last night, and it was not that bad. So
I mean, I can see Corey through my glass.
So as we close this episode out, I'm going to cheers one more time here. This is the cheers of the last beer. Cheers, buddy. Drinky. I liked it better out of the can.
Yeah.
It's that's a different bear right there.
But we also didn't bring this after Spotted Cow.
Listen,
this and Spotted Cow are dramatically different.
No, listen, this out of a can, this would be the same as taking a Busch Light and pouring it into a glass. It's just, it's not. Yeah,
this is meant to be drank out of a can.
Yeah, this is not a beer that you want to drink out of a glass. I'm gonna
Stag. Whatever.
Yeah. So, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not good out of a glass.
Hang on.
It's not good. Is it better out of that?
Yes, it is actually.
Good. I'm
the
not gonna.
Can add something.
I don't know what it is, but it's not as good. So, I think with that being said, I think
these were under $1 a tall boy.
Yeah, so I think we'll end this episode a little bit earlier than usual, just because I think we've covered our content very well. So I just want to say again, thank you to all of our wonderful kind of sponsors, supporters, things like that. Thank you, Corey, for being here tonight. Our AV guy.
I'm sorry that we couldn't get Corey to shut up. Everybody,
I know,
really
it's terrible.
That we couldn't get him
terrible.
to shut up.
We were hoping to have some guests tonight.
Yeah.
We were hoping to have. We reached out to Random Tanner, local artist.
But he came up with some BS excuse.
He's
got to perform with the Yin Yang Twins
and Young Jock up in Minnesota.
Yeah,
Weird.
Bullshit excuse.
We reached out to the High Five Sinners, and they just had some other stuff going on.
Yeah, they're all going different directions. So,
We reached out to Ryan from 93.5. He's on a beach somewhere. Who else? There was one more. We reached out to. I feel like there was one more.
I just think Shmoo reached out and touched somebody. So
no, we reached out to Jason from Cat's Eye.
Yep.
He's down at the.
He's got a taste of the Quad Cities.
Tasting
blah
somewhere.
blah blah. Whatever.
Blah. Overrated.
Yeah,
a bunch of overrated
totally.
people. I tell you.
So the only guest we got was Corey, who never came on camera, never said a word. But I do got to say, looking across, though, his facial expressions throughout this have been great. They've been just on point.
Is this your first live podcast experience?
Yes, it is.
Oh, he spoke!
He spoke! Woo! We'll take it.
So, yes, on that note, yeah.
Guys, have a great night.
No, we cannot end. We cannot end. CCR.
You're right. We got to come back.
CCR. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on. Give me a second. Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Oh, wait.
Very much playing on the down in the bayou, down south musical genre.
It's good. It's a good band.
They're from California.
They're from California.
Show me a bayou in California. Ugh. Not to mention one of the most anti-military, anti-American propaganda groups there ever was. I mean, they're supposed to be this, American Southern rock, blah, blah, blah. You're from California, number one. Number two, you don't know squat about what you're writing about. And your most popular song was written for a story that you were telling a delusional child with a fever.
I think CCR was the original hipster.
Oh.
I'm going to end on that. Guys, have a great night. I want you to think about that. We'll see you next time.
CCR were hipsters.
Hipsters. Thank you,
Cheers,
guys.
folks.
Cheers. We'll see you next time.